Hey guys, so there is this corner on the internet where people casually drop the most mind-blowing life tips and they never even go viral. So what if I told you we could turn those hidden gems into automated AI-generated videos without editing, scripting, or even logging into your socials? In this video, I'm showing you exactly how to build a fully automated viral shorts generator that posts tips from Reddit, creates voiceovers, fetches stock footage from Pexels, and produces a complete video, all without you raising a finger to do anything. And yes, the full template is yours for free on blazingautomations.com. So let's dive in. Before we build, here's a quick preview. So this workflow posts tips from the LifeProTips subreddit on Reddit. It sends them to an AI agent to create a mini story, then generates a voiceover, grabs a random video and sends it to Creatomate to put everything together. Final video looks something like this.
Motivation is like a guest. It comes and goes. But discipline, that's a habit that sticks, even on tough days. If you wait for motivation to work out, study, or build your side hustle, you'll only do it when you feel like it. And honestly,
or even better, we may even add some subtitles to make the whole video very appetizing. If you want to skip the setup and just started or follow the tutorial with an already made workflow, you can download the full template for free on my website, blazingautomations.com. The link is in this description. Here's the website. You can always get our free templates on the navigation bar and click get more templates, and you're going to be led to this. Just click download template and you're going to have your template, and you can plug in inside your n8n as simple as it can be. To begin, create a new workflow in n8n. Call the workflow viral shorts. So the workflow will start by fetching tips. Since the subreddit tips will be stored in Google Sheets, the workflow will start by fetching tips from a Google Sheet. So firstly, let's add a manual trigger, and after adding a manual trigger, let's add a Google Sheet node that will enable us to fetch data from the Google Sheets. Click on Google Sheets and click on Get Rows. Here, the first thing, you have to configure your credentials. To configure your credentials, just go inside my channel and watch this video. It's somewhere around 4 minutes and you'll have everything set up for you in no time. So once you have configured the credentials, here now we have to go ahead and create a new Google Sheet that will enable us to store all the data tips. So let's first of all rename this Google Sheet to tips, and the columns of the Google Sheet will include an ID, title. The next will be body, and then date script, and finally the status. The status will carry only two values, created or not created. Let's head back to n8n. So if your credentials have connected successfully, if you have followed the steps in the video that I just showed you, all you have to do is click here, and as you can see, the newly created Google Sheet is appearing here. Click on that, and now let's select the sheet, and which is just sheet 1 because that's the only sheet that's available in there, and select that too. So here's the thing, once we have processed that tip, we are going to mark it as created and done. So we want to only fetch the tip that has not been created yet. So to do that, click on add filter, and then we're going to select status and make sure status is equal to not created. Make sure the C is capital. To fully customize the Google Sheets, we need it to always output data. Click on settings next to parameters, turn on the always output data switch. This will enable us that when there is no data at all, it should still bring us an empty array. That will avoid stopping the workflow. Let's head back to parameters, and let's first of all execute the step and see if it is going to bring any data at all. Apparently there is no data at all. Next, let's add an if node. Search for if and click on it. The if node is going to help us to check if there is any data that has been fetched from the Google Sheets. If there is no data, that will mean that the Google Sheet is empty. We're going to scrape for new tips from the subreddit. Let's click the if node to open it. Click on the expressions tab, expand it. Inside here, we want to grab the input or the JSON. So $JSON. So add the JSON like that. Since this is going to be the output that is coming from the Google Sheets, and go for the object. Click on the middle, select object, and select is not empty. So this means that we want to check that the JSON, which is the Google Sheet data, is not empty. So if it's not empty, we are going to go straight to an AI agent. But if it's empty, we're going to scrape data. So let's click on that and search for Apify node. Click on Apify. If you are on a self-hosted version of n8n, make sure you install Apify first. I've already installed it. Let's click on Run Actor. Let's just clear the workflow first by moving this to a new line like that. All right, this workflow will be a self-populating workflow. If there is no data, it will be populating the Google Sheets automatically each and every time. Firstly, let's reopen the Apify node. As you can see, the Apify node needs credentials. So to add credential, go on the top and click Create New Credential. We need an API key. To find an API key, it's very easy. Open a new tab, search for Apify login, and click on Apify console. So if you click on the console, it is going to take you straight to the sign in page, and when you log in, you're going to be directed to an empty dashboard, something like this. Of course, mine is a little bit populated since I've used it. And one thing you have to understand is when you sign in for the first time, you're going to be given $5 credit to use on your free plan. The next thing we have to do is to find our API key. So go to the sidebar and scroll down, and to find the settings link, click on the settings, click API integrations. You can always unhide and then copy the API token. Now that you have copied the API token, head back to n8n and paste it inside your new credentials. So let's paste it. After you paste it, click save. So let's hit save. Just like that, you have connected your n8n to your Apify account. So to scrape data using Apify, you're going to use actors, and there are so many actors that are available inside Apify. So let's scroll back and click Apify store. Inside this Apify store, there are so many actors. So let's search for Reddit Scraperlite. Reddit Scraperlite, as you can see, it has already brought. Click on the Reddit Scraperlite link. Now, this is an actor we're going to be using. For you, probably you'll find this subreddit stories. So change that subreddit from stories to LifeProTips, because that's the one we're going to be using. We want to test it first, but let's first limit the post we will get. Let's limit it to 2 so that we can scrape 2 posts, and make sure your date is 2025-0101. Now that we have configured that, let's click save and start. As it is scraping some data, let's just go to LifeProTips subreddit and see what kind of posts are in there. So as you can see, inside the LifeProTips, there are a number of posts, but firstly, you will notice that the first post is the pinned community highlights. The community highlights has a number of rows, I suppose. And then the next thing here is the post, the first post by a user. So let's see if it's going to scrape this such kind of data. As you can see, it has succeeded. So let's click the output and let's see what kind of data we have received. For the first thing here is the data type. As you can see, it's the community, and the tips here are the community guidelines as already seen, and we have another tip here as a post. So the body post says, if you have sons, it's the easiest hairstyle, blah 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 blah. So just like that, we have managed to scrape data from the subreddit, the LifeProTips. So now that we have done that, let's head back to n8n and see what we are supposed to do. When we get back to n8n using the Apify node, we'll make sure that the resource is an actor and the operation is run an actor, because we're trying to run the Reddit Scraperlite actor. The next thing here we have to do, we have to select the actor source. So let's select the actor source. Let's use recently used actor, and let's select the actor. Since we just used the Reddit Scraperlite, so we are going to use select from the list and click here to select the just used Scraperlite. So as you can see, it's going to show up here, Reddit Scraperlite. The next thing, we need the input JSON. For the input JSON, it's quite easy. Let's go back to the Apify account and let's close this window. So let's go back to import. Before we click the JSON tab, scroll down, click limits. We want to fetch at least 10 posts, not just 2 posts. So let's search for 10 posts. The maximum number of items to be saved should be 10, and the limit of posts scraped inside a single page should be 11. Now that we have done that, let's scroll back up and click on JSON and scroll down. You'll realize that we have a JSON that looks something like this. Select this JSON, copy it all, and head back to n8n and click the expressions tab under the input JSON, expand it, delete these parentheses, and paste your contents inside this. So just like that, we have managed to use it. So the next thing here we need is to test this node. So let's click the test node here and see what is going to happen. Let's see. So after we run the node, we have initiated a scrape. If we go back to our Apify account, we'll realize that there is a run. We have initiated a run. Let's go back to n8n and you'll see that the run has an ID specifically. So we're going to use this ID to be polling it to make sure that the run is successful. So to do that, let's click here to add another Apify, and here now we'll be using it to get a run. So scroll down, click get run to select, and we're going to get run from using the ID. So select here and click by ID. Let's grab this ID and paste it inside here, and just like that, we're going to be checking the status of our previous initiated run. So let's just rename this node to get run, hit enter, and let's execute this. It is going to give us the status. So let's look at the status here. If you look at this, the status is succeeded. Let's look at this. The status is succeeded, but it is not always to be succeeded. If the status is not succeeded, what we're going to do is we need to be waiting for some minutes. So let's add a checkpoint, which will be an if node. Let's search for if, and all we're going to do here is we are going to say if the status is succeeded. So we're going to grab the status here and grab it into the value 1. Let's hard code succeeded. So if the status here is succeeded, then go ahead. But if it's not succeeded, all we have to do is wait. So I think we need to add a wait node here. To do that, let's click on the middle of these two Apify nodes and click here, search for wait. Just like that, we have managed to get a wait node. And the wait node will wait for at least 5 seconds. And let's clear this. So what we're trying to say is, if we try to get the actor and the actor has not yet succeeded, it means it is still running. We need to wait, to continually wait. So let's reconnect this back just like that. So it will wait and wait until it is run. So it will run and wait until the actor has finished running and has managed to scrape the data. Or else, if the status is succeeded, what we're going to do here is we are going to make sure that we continue with the data flow. If the status of the Apify actor that is running has succeeded, then we need to to get the data set now. So now what we have to do is add another Apify node. This Apify node this time around now will help us to get the dataset items. So let's scroll down and click on the dataset actions, get dataset items. So we're going to get the dataset items. We have already configured the credentials. It's quite easy for us, and the dataset items. Now, let's click and run this. So now that we have executed again, and it seems it's perfect, what we are trying to check here is we are checking if it is succeeded, and let's also execute this step. And yes, it is succeeded, it is finished. And now that it's finished, let's now open this Apify and rename it. So the first thing that we have to do is to get the dataset ID. So to get the dataset ID, all we have to do is scroll down, and we're going to search for the default dataset ID, which is somewhere around here, default dataset ID. So grab this ID and paste it inside here, the default dataset ID. Let's click execute step to see if we're going to get the default ID. And somehow we did not get the data, but it ran. So let's see, let's go back to Apify console and check if it ran successfully. So it finished, and let's see, and the results are 0. So to troubleshoot this, let's head back to Apify and check the JSON input that we sent to see how many posts did we say we need. So the max item said is 10 and the max post count is 11. Probably let's just set this to both 10 and 10 and close it. Let's try to execute the workflow again. So when we execute the workflow, it is going to typically run, and as you can see now, it is waiting for some 5 seconds, and I think it has returned, which is showing that the status of the run is not successful. It is retained again. This is the second time. Let's see. For the third time, it has returned again. So it will keep on returning until the status turns to succeeded. Let's wait. So after running the get dataset Apify node, you can see that we have successfully gotten the data set from Apify. Now that we have successfully managed to grab and scrape the data, let's store it in Google Sheets. To do that, we need to filter any kind of data that are not posts, because as we saw back in the subreddit, we saw that the other posts are community guidelines. So we're only looking for the LifeProTips. So for that, let's use a filter and click filter here and search for, so let's use schema, the schema, and grab data type. So there are only 2 data types. It can be a community or a post. So we're going to say the data type is equal to a post. That's the filter. So we are only looking for the data type that is a post. So let's execute that. And as you can see here, 1 item has been discarded and we have managed to keep 9 items. Let's now store these items inside Google Sheets. Select append row, and now all we have to do is select tips and select the sheet. Now we're going to map this manually. It's quite easy. All you have to do is grab this ID and paste it inside the ID column, and grab this title. I think we have a title here. Grab it and store it in here, and grab another one, the body. Grab the body here, and for the date script, let's see if we'll find a date below here. When you scroll down, we'll find script at. Grab that, and finally the status. The status will always be not created. So let's execute this step, and as for now, you can see that the Google Sheet is being populated after running the node. We're going to grab one of these tips and now send it to an agent. Let's just duplicate this by clicking on the Google Sheets and pressing Ctrl D. It's going to duplicate it, and let's connect the nodes. And now let's just change the operation from append row to get rows. So let's just get rows. So click add filter. Let's select status and grab only the ones which are not created. So it's going to grab one which is not created. Let's click on that one and let's see it in action. Great, it has now finally gotten one live tip. As you can see here, this is the tip, the body, and this is the title. So let's send this into an AI agent. But before, let's just separate this by using the sticky notes. So right click your mouse and select add sticky note and resize the sticky note to be as large as our nodes are, and just change the name, delete this and start with double hatch and just say fetching data and trigger. Now we have separated that. Again, duplicate this by clicking on it and clicking duplicate, or you can just click Ctrl D, span it like that. I think this one should be separated so that it should look at least a little bit nicer. This one should be scraping data. Great, now our workflow is looking a little bit tidy. So now let's introduce an AI agent. Let's grab this and start it again on a new line to introduce an AI agent. So let's go to AI agent. If we zoom in back inside our workflow, we'll realize that this node that is checking if the Google Sheet is empty or not has this true route. Let's also grab this route and connect it to our AI agent. So just like that, our AI agent has two inputs. So let's select the chat model. Let's just click here, chat model, and I'll select OpenAI. I normally use OpenAI most of the times. I'll select GPT-4 mini. The first thing you have to do is to connect your new credentials. How to do this? It's a very simple job. Probably in a minute you'll be done. It's just going to OpenAI dashboard and grabbing the OpenAI key. And if you don't have the credits, you just have to push in a minimum of $5 and you'll be on your way grabbing your API key. The next thing that we need is to configure the user message. So let's select here and click define below. Now we are going to paste in the user message. The next thing we need to add on our AI agent, we are going to click here on add option and select a system message. This message will enable us to code our AI agent to make sure that it is doing exactly as we want it to do. So I have prepared a document that has the system prompt that we're going to use here. I'll leave the link of this document in the description below. Here's the document. So scroll down inside this document and go for the system prompt for AI agent. Select this prompt. After selecting it, go back to n8n, click on the expressions tab, expand the tab, delete the default system prompt, paste the system prompt that we got from the document. The next thing we have to do is make sure that we give the title and tip of the data now. So let's just copy this section and paste it in here. Click expressions tab, expand it and paste it inside here. So we're going to have title and body here. So to test it out, let's click execute workflow and check what will happen after we have set up our AI agent. It seems it is done. It has given a very beautiful post, but it's not in a very good structure. So to have a very good structure with the AI agent, let's click on require a specific output format. Let's turn on that and click on output parser, click on structured output parser, and we need to configure how we want the data to look like. All we want is for our data to look something like this: the title of the script, and the script of the tip. So that's what we want to look, that's what we want our output to look like, and I think we have managed to configure that. So let's just rerun that to make sure that it gives us the title and the script separately. So let's reopen. Now we have the title, which is looking beautiful, and the script, you can see it has summarized the whole Reddit post into a beautiful script that we're going to use to generate a voiceover. So now let's generate the voiceover. Let's add the OpenAI node here and search for OpenAI. Click OpenAI, and when you scroll down, you will find here generate audio. We're going to use OpenAI to generate audio. There are so many APIs which can be used around, but I have gone for the simplest one, which is OpenAI. So let's grab the script here, paste it in the text input, and for the voice, since we have already configured the credentials, we are going to use the very same credentials. Make sure the resource here is audio and the operation here is generate audio. For the voice, let's go for Onyx. That's pretty much it. Execute step. So now what we're going to have here is a very simple audio generated by OpenAI. OpenAI has finished generating our audio. Let's just double click and check. Well, we forgot to do one little thing here, and now it has given us a lot of audios. So let's go back and click on settings, click on execute once to have only one simple data. Let's click execute step and wait. So as you're waiting, let's just add a few nodes here. We're going to add the HTTP node that we're going to use to grab a stock footage or a stock video that we're going to use in our shorts. So let's click here and search for HTTP request. And in our HTTP request, we're going to configure this API from Pexels. As you know, Pexels is a website that gives stock images and stock footage. At the very same time as we are trying to get a video, we will also want to store this audio inside our Google Drive. So let's extend another node and search for Google Drive. And we are going to upload this file. So let's search for upload. Here we have upload file, click upload file. So now we will be doing two things concurrently. Let's start by configuring the HTTP request. If we go back to the document that I showed you, there is a Pexels form. There is a Pexels link. Click on that link. All you have to do is to log in by clicking join or get started. As you can see, I'm pretty much logged in here. Here's my avatar. So you have to click on your API key. Make sure the link is the same. When you click on the API key, you're going to be given an API key. So click on that. You can also just copy it, paste it somewhere. So I'm going to paste it somewhere here and head back. Now to set up Pexels in our n8n instance to grab random images which are free, let's click documentation. Let's go to the videos section, click here on search for videos. So for search for videos, we're going to use this request. Click copy, head back to n8n, open the HTTP request and click import curl, paste the curl command, click import. So we have successfully added the Pexels configuration. However, there are a few things that needs to be done to add authorization so that Pexels recognizes our request to say, all right, this person has ever signed up on our platform. We need to grab that API key and paste it in here. So let me just grab this API key that I took at the beginning. Scroll down and under the headers, delete this and paste in the API key. Now here, we need to do a few things. We want to make sure that the videos are randomized. We don't want to use the very same video over and over again. So to do that, we are going to do a little bit of code, which is not hard. It's very simple. We are going to be querying for videos about nature or videos about random backgrounds or videos about abstract. And we're going to randomize it on each workflow. Click on value here on the query, click on value and click on expressions tab, expand it, delete the nature and add in a code that looks something like this. As you can see, this code has got a list of 3 types of videos that can be found on Pexels. It can be nature, about background or abstract background. So again, we are also going to randomize the page to make sure that it doesn't only pick on page 1. We're going to add another parameter and we're going to name that parameter page. So copy this kind of code and paste it in your expressions tab and close. Let's rename this as in Pexels recall Pexel. Let's execute the step. Let's go to the Google Drive, do a few things here. Inside Google Drive, the first thing you have to do is to connect your Google Drive to your n8n. As I've already said, I have a special video inside my channel that is teaching you clearly in less than 4 minutes to connect Google Drive to your n8n account. You watch that and you set the credentials properly. The next thing you have to do is make sure the input data field name is data, and the file name, we can just put it as audio. Again, let's click the expressions tab so that it is dynamic, and add double parenthesis, click add now. This is going to add the time, so our file names will be looking something like this. The parent drive is always the my drive. For the folder, what I like to do is to create a folder specific for n8n projects. So I have this folder in my Google Drive called samples, and I'll use that one, but you can use any folder, it's very much alright. So we also try to run Pexels, and let's see if Pexels has successfully grabbed a video. So let's see. Yes, it has done it. Before we do anything, also let's just test the Google Drive upload file node to see if it's going to upload this file inside our Google Drive. So let's click execute step here. So Google Drive has also finished uploading the file, and it has uploaded the file successfully. And as you can see here, it has given the ID of the file and a number of things. The next thing we have to do is very crucial, because we need to grab the video and the audio IDs and send them into the API that we're going to be using to create videos. So in the next notes, let's do that. Let's add the Google Drive here, search for the set node, click on set node. So we're going to search for the web content link. Let's search for that, and here it is. Grab it and paste it inside this box. We have now set the audio link. Now let's set video link. So to do that, we need to run again the Pexels. So let's run the Pexels. After running the Pexels API, the next thing we are going to set is the video link into this set field node. So let's scroll down and look for the video link. And here is the link. Drag and drop the link into the box here. Next, change the name of the field into video_link. Then click execute step. Just like that, we're able to extract the video link from Pexels API response. After all that is done, let's merge the audio link so that we can send the audio link together with the video link to Creatomate to create a video. To do that, we're going to use the merge node. Let's click on the plus icon and search for merge. Select merge. The number of inputs should be set to 2, and the mode should be combined. This combined by parameter should be set to all possible combinations. Let's connect the audio link to the merge node, and finally double click the merge node to open the window and click execute step. Well, finally we have managed to just grab the video link and the audio link, and it is looking very nice. As you can see, the video link is straight from Pexels and the audio link is inside our Google Drive. We can now send this data inside our platform, and the platform that we're going to be using for the video creation is Creatomate. So just search for Creatomate, click on the link, and you'll be taken straight to the landing page. You can get started. When you log in for the first time, you're given, I think, around $5 credit, which you can use to test for any templates and everything. They have a very generous free tier. So let's click on templates. What we're trying to do here, we want to create a template that each and every time will be used for the video. So let's click new. We'll go with auto subtitles. Let's just select something that's very basic. I think the basic subtitles. Let's select that one. Here, let's select 916, that's the 916, and click create template. Now we are in the Creatomate studio. We are trying to create the template here. Maybe let me just play it out and see how the template will sound like.
Yeah. And it's like, what are you trying to do? What kind of life?
Fine. So we just want to make sure that we have everything set dynamically. Now let's delete this logo because it's not associated with what we're doing here. Let's add a dynamic voiceover that will be sending from our workflow. So click here on AI voiceover, click on that. And when you click on it, make sure you drag it and should be inside composition. As you can see here, the voiceover has got a name, voiceover 5HM, and the video has a name. Let's turn the volume off for the video. So let's go to the right, scroll down, go here on playback and put 0, and just like that we have turned off the video. Voice, everything else, I think it's just very much all right. For the subtitles, I want them to be on the center. So let's highlight the subtitles and drag them up to the center. Let's track a few things about the subtitles. Let's firstly make them dynamic. So scroll down and click on dynamic. And the next thing, the transcription should not come from the video, but rather from the voiceover. So select source and click voiceover. Let's customize the voiceover. So click on your left, click voiceover, scroll up here, and for the provider on the audio, click select none. And just like that, we have managed to prepare a very simple template inside Creatomate. The next thing we have to do is grab the code that will enable us to connect n8n and Creatomate. So click on use template, click on API integration, grab it by clicking on the copy to clipboard. So just like that, we'll copy that, and let's head over to n8n. Inside n8n, add the HTTP node and rename it to create video. Click import curl, paste the text which you got from Creatomate and click import. Now that we have this Creatomate request well prepared, the next thing we have to do is to make sure that we provide the voiceover source, which will be a link, and at the very same time the video source. Let's delete this video source because this is straight from Creatomate, but we need to provide our own, which we have grabbed from Pexels. So to do that, click on the expressions tab. So we need to grab the video link and paste it inside the double quotes, and at the very same time we need to grab the audio link and paste it over the voiceover. One thing you need to have in mind, and you need to make sure you have it, because if you don't do it, it's gonna cause an error. Make sure your Google Drive folder is shared. Make sure you share your Google Drive folder and make it public so that whatever video is in that folder is easily accessible by Creatomate. Make sure you share the folder. That's the rule. You can leave the subtitles like that. Hit save, test it out. So the video has successfully run. Let's go to Creatomate and go to API log and check. You can see that we just have a video that has succeeded like 2 minutes ago. Let's drop it down and see how our video looks like. Let's play it.
Throwing a party? Here's a game changer for your guests and yourself. Stack several hand towels by the sink. When you have more than a few people over, one towel just won't cut it. It gets soaked fast. Having fresh towels ready means your guests stay dry, your sink area stays tidy, and cleanup is way easier.
Alright, so we have successfully created a video using Creatomate and a voiceover from OpenAI, and this wonderful. Well, we are not yet done. With the next thing that we have to do, it is to grab this video and upload it into Google Drive. We need to add a wait. We'll add probably around 3 seconds. Let's now add an HTTP request that is going to get the video. Now import curl and click import. Let's use gate here and let's add the JSON here. Now that this post has finished, here it shows the status is succeeded. We are going to use that status to loop if it has not succeeded or to continue if it has succeeded. In this case, I'm going to use a switch, and this switch is going to have a number of rules. The first rule is if status is succeeded. So let's say succeeded, and we'll add another row, add route, click add routing row, and add another row, say if status and is not, should be on the string, is not equal to, let's just copy the succeeded and paste it inside succeeded here. So 0, it's for succeeded. We're going to continue, and if it's not succeeded, well, we have to go and wait again until it succeeds. So that's what we're going to do here. The next thing that we're going to do is, if it is succeeded, we are going to do two things. The first thing is to update the Google Sheet. Search for Google Sheets, click, and here we're just going to append or update. Click update row. We have changed the operation to update row because that's all we want to do. The next thing is, we already know we need to use the tips document, and we need to use sheet 1. So we're going to use ID. So let's select the column to match on, select ID. So I think let's just run the switch node first. All right, now let's continue by configuring the update. So now we'll put the Google Sheets, and we're going to use the Google Sheets to make sure that we update the status to now created. So we're going to search for the video that we fetched. So let's go back, let's scroll down and go to Google Sheets and get this ID on the Google Sheets, because it's needed right here, and make sure you just create the status to created. Now the status is created, and so the next thing is downloading the file into our workflow and uploading it to Google Drive. So let's do that. Let's firstly search for the HTTP node, which is going to enable us to download it. So let's just search for the URL, which is this one. So make sure the method is get, and grab the URL here, paste it into the URL. So scroll down, set the response to file, click that, make sure the response is file. So click file here, and just like that, we'll have data, and we're going to fetch it into our workflow. So let's click that. As you can see, we are downloading the video. As the video is downloading, let's just search for the Google Drive, click upload file. We already have the view. Let's just
throwing a party. Here's
wow,
a simple trick to keep things smooth.
Video.
Instead of just one hand towel by the sink, stack a few fresh ones. Why? Because with more than a couple of guests, one towel gets soaked super fast.
So we regenerated the same video to test if the videos will be changing randomly, and yes, it is changing randomly. Guys, this is very, very, very awesome. So let's just give the name. So let's click expressions, vid, add in the now function. I think that is enough. So let's search for samples. So if you want, you can always add a few things like background music, which is just some little nice stuff, very, very nice and necessary. So let's also click this, and at the very same time click this. So this is going to update the video, rather the Google Sheets, and at the very same time upload the video. We've seen the video. It's a very, very nice video. So if we go back to the Google Sheets to check, we'll find that one tip, which is this one, the status has changed from not created to created. If we go back to my Google Drive and see, so we have this video. As you can see, the naming here is the naming convention is exactly as we wanted it to be. This is how you can create auto viral YouTube shorts or TikTok shorts or Instagram reels. Very, very simple. All you have to do is to make sure that you have your n8n cloud, and you can get it. As I already said, you can always get the workflow from blazingautomations.com. The link will be in the description. Just click get templates, and here is the template. If probably we have another featured template, you can always go click on get more and just search here on auto viral. So I think it'll be right there. Just search on the auto viral and click here. You'll find it somewhere around here. Click download and download template. You'll have your workflow, and when you click on it, you will typically have it for free and you can do anything with it. Very much cool.